Hi guys, so today we're going to go over the homework, which was solving linear system word problems. So this is a review of that homework. The first question is right here. The school that Lisa goes to is selling tickets to the annual talent show. On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 4 senior citizens tickets and 5 student tickets for a total of $102. The school took in $126 on the second day by selling 7 senior citizen tickets and 5 student tickets. What is the price each of 1 senior citizen ticket and 1 student ticket? So the first thing you should do when you get a problem like this, guys, is pinpoint what parts of it you need in order to solve the problem. Okay, so we can see here that we're going to need 4 senior citizen tickets and 5 student tickets for a total of $102. That's going to be the basis for one of our equations for this system. Okay, the other one, we have 7 senior citizen tickets and 5 student tickets, and that came out to $126. And what would we want to find? The price for 1 senior citizen ticket and 1 student ticket. So we have everything we need to set up our 2 equations and to solve. So our first equation, 4c plus 5s equals 102. Our second, 7c plus 5s equals 126. Now, what does the C and the S mean? You definitely want to include that. So the C, in my case, stands for senior citizens. You could use other variables if you want. These are just the ones I picked. And my S is for the students. Okay, so that defines my variables. Now let's go and solve the problem. Now we can see if we were to add these 2 together the way they are right now, we're not going to eliminate anything. But notice what I did. I took the blue equation and I multiplied it by a -1 to make everything in the second equation negative. Now you can see that my 5s and my -5s, they're additive inverses, which means we're going to eliminate that s. And by eliminating the s, when we add these 2 equations together, we get -3c, and we add these 2, 102 plus a minus 126, or we could just say 102 minus 126, that gives us -24. We subtract the 3 from both sides because we don't want -3c, we want to know the value of 1c. So when you divide both sides by that -3, you get c equals 8. Okay, so we solved half our problem. We know that senior citizens tickets are $8 a piece. Now we can finish it up. Okay, senior citizens are $8 a piece, so we're going to put it, I put it into the red equation. You could put it into the blue if you want. It's up to you to choose which one you want. So I substituted in the 8 for C, and I finished out that problem. So 32 plus 5s, okay, I get the constants on the same side, divide by the coefficient 5, and that takes me to the end of the problem, which is S equals 14. And remember, that's the price for 1 student ticket. Now I'm going to use the blue equation. Since I used the red one to solve for S, I'm going to use the blue equation to check. So I put in 7 times C, which was 8, plus 5 times S, which was 14, is supposed to equal 126. And when we do the multiplying, we find out that it does come out to 126. So we're good to go. But we need to write down what our solution is, guys. The problem is not over until you write down the solution. And the solution has meaning here, so don't just write a point. Each senior ticket costs $8. And notice I put the C here just to tell everybody that my variable C represented senior. And each student ticket, variable S, costs $14. So that's the solution, guys. You have to write it so it has some meaning. You have to write the answer with meaning. Okay, so that's question number 1. Let's look at question number 2. Remember, guys, you did these for homework, so we're just going over the answers and one possible way to do it. There are more ways that you could answer these questions. I'm just taking you through one of them. Okay, so once again, we highlight the information in problem number 2. Where Castell sold 6 apple pies and 4 lemon meringue pies for a total of $80. Gabrielle sold 6 apple pies and 5 lemon meringue pies for a total of $94. We want to find the cost of 1 apple pie and the cost of 1 lemon meringue pie. So we can set up our 2 equations. There we go. 6 plus 4 equals 80. That's our first equation for Castell. And 6 apple pies plus 5 lemon meringue pies were $94, and that was what Gabriella sold. So there are 2 equations. Now, I want to put down what A and M mean. So A is for apple, M is for lemon meringue, and I'm good to go. Now I can start doing my problem. Now, if I were to add these 2 together, once again, you can see nothing's going to eliminate here. 6 plus 6 is 12. 4 plus 5 is 9. That's not going to work. But what did I do? I decided to multiply the first equation by -1. Basically, just doing what? Changing the signs. Okay? And by doing that, you can see I got additive inverses here, a -6 and a +6, so my A's are going to eliminate, and I'm left with M. 5 and -4 just gives me one M. Hey, this is an easy problem. -80 plus 94 gives me 14, so I found my M. Now let's complete the problem. So I'm going to substitute the M into one of the two equations. Again, I picked the red. You could pick the blue if you want. It's up to you. So I substituted in, multiplied, and finished the problem. So the end of the problem, A equals 4. So I know that apple pies cost $4 a piece. Lemon meringue pies cost $14 a piece. Now this time I decided to check it in both equations just to make sure. That's not a bad idea. So you can see the check. And remember, guys, you can pause these videos anytime you want so you can really look at the problem a little bit more. For time's sake, I'm just going to keep on going on. But you can pause it and study it a little bit more anytime you wish. So the solution for this, each apple pie, A, costs $4. Each lemon meringue pie, which is variable M, costs $14. All right? $4 for apple, $14 for lemon meringue. Question number 3. Okay, so there's our question. And let's highlight what we need to know. 8 packages of chocolate chip cookie dough and 12 packages of gingerbread cookie dough cost a total of $364. Carlos sold 1 package of chocolate chip cookie dough and 4 packages of ginger cookie dough for a total of $93. Find out the cost of 1 package of chocolate chip cookie dough and 1 package of gingerbread cookie dough. So there's our equations. 8 plus 12 equals 364. And Carlos 1 package, so that's just 1 C for chocolate chip cookie, and 4 packages of gingerbread, and that came out to 93. Okay, once again, I'm going to define my variables. C is chocolate chip cookie dough. G is gingerbread cookie dough. And now I can solve. Now, this time, if you notice, guys, once again, if I try and add these together, I get 9C and I get 16G. That's not going to eliminate anything. So see if you can figure out, what did I do? I left the red equation alone. I did something to the blue equation. Let's see. Well, I eliminated G by getting a -12 here. So how does 4 turn into -12? Well, if I multiply it by -3, I get -12. But remember, I have to multiply the entire equation by -3. So I get -3 times C is -3C. 4G times -3 becomes -12G. And 93 times -3 becomes -279. So that's the way I rewrote my second equation. I multiplied everything here by -3. Why? So I could eliminate the G's. Okay, so once again, I eliminated the G's so I can solve for C by multiplying by -3, the second equation. Notice I left the first equation alone. Okay, so we can finish the problem now. We substitute in C is 17. We can see we substituted it in there, and then we solved for G. So G turned out to be 19. We do our check, and we can see that our 17 and 19 do work out because 364 equals 364. We checked it good. And once again, remember this time we used the blue equation to find G, so we used the red equation to check. Our solution comes out. Each package of chocolate cookie dough costs $17. Okay, each package of gingerbread cookie dough is $19. That's the end of that problem. Okay, don't forget, you have to articulate what the solution is. If it's just 2 equations, then you can put it as a point. Okay, but since these answers have meaning, we have to write down what the meaning is. Okay, the next 2 I am just going to leave up here for you to look through and see what I did. Okay, so I would suggest you pause this. You can see I highlighted the information. I wrote down my 2 equations. I wrote down what the solution was, and I'm showing you the work, showing you how I found V, how I found B, and my check. Don't forget, guys, this is only one of several ways you could solve this problem. There are other ways that are just as valid, and if you did any of the other ways, it would work. Okay, so this is just one method. So that's question number 4. Once again, I suggest you pause it, look through it, try and figure out if you made a mistake, if you did the same kind of thing, or figure out what you could have done differently the way you solved it. Question number 5. Okay, once again, highlighted for you. This time they gave you the equations. All you had to do was do something with the equations to solve it. If you see, we got 10b plus 10c equals 210, 70b minus 70c equals 210. You can see that I highlighted the yellow highlighted one I just put down, but I did something to the one that was highlighted in blue. What did I do? How did I get 10b minus 10c equals 30? Think about it. Got it? Yeah, I divided everything by 7. If you divide everything by 7, 70 divided by 7 is 10. Minus 70 becomes minus 10. 210 becomes 30. Now if I add them together, you can clearly see my c's are eliminated, and I can solve for B. Then I solve for C. Then I check. And it comes out that the boat goes 12 miles per hour, and the speed is 9 miles per hour. Remember, we talked about this downstream. The two things work together. Okay, the boat and the current work together. Upstream, when we're going back, the boat and the current are working in opposite directions. So the current is working against the boat. That's why it takes a lot longer to go back upstream than it does to go downstream, as we talked about in class. Okay, that's it for your homework. If you have any questions, bring them into class. What I would suggest, as I said, is to pause these, go through them. If you need to re-look at them again, just go back and play the video again. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.